So Aisha is Muhammad's ex-wife, not a normal wife. She had apparently agreed to be a secret second wife. Muhammad Hijab has defended the concept of secret second wives. But let's go ahead and read through this. So this is from Behind Veils, and they gave her answers to some of the objections that are popping up. And guys, I'll just read, and you guys have any thoughts on it, jump in with any thoughts you have, and then we'll go on to the next. It's not a lot. I think it's just a few of the main issues. So we'll just go and read these, just so we know what we're talking about in these as we're watching these videos. Sister Aisha answers common questions. Why did I come out publicly? So that would be a main one. Why don't you just keep this to yourself, or why don't you keep this behind the scenes or something like this? And she says, there were both moral and spiritual reasons. Morally, I believe if I had spoken earlier, many harmful McDonald's marriages could have been prevented.
I've gotten people married in 1 minute, in 60 seconds, because I was busy. Honestly, someone comes to the office and say, listen, I need to get married, this and that. I say, listen, I need to go to the toilet, so this is going to have to be a quick one. I tell you the truth, I've even gotten people married on WhatsApp. And now there's a difference of opinion on the matter, but I was driving and this guy, he called me and said, look, I'm going to commit haram. He goes, I've got 2 witnesses ready on this WhatsApp group. Can I add you and you do the thing? So I brought them in. I said to the woman, I said to her, listen, this guy's probably going to leave you. I know this guy. And he was like, what are you doing? You're here to try and make things easy for me. I said, but it's not fair on the poor woman, because we know that you're a pernicious man. You're a khabith. And I said, what's the mahar? And the guy said, you don't want to hear this one. This is before McDonald's was on the boycott list. He goes, I'm going to give her a meal in McDonald's. He said, sister, don't do this. I said, at least have something. No, she said, I don't mind, I don't care, whatever, It happened, and he did, in fact, divorce her, unfortunately. But I said, I told you so, and that was it.
Like, we sit here and think, like, how it's sad that people's view of marriage has diminished over the years to not take it as seriously. But anyone in the West takes it massively more seriously than these guys. Like, even with atheists take marriage significantly more serious than these guys do. And this is the idea in Islam. It's, hey, I want to have sex with this woman, but I don't want to do something haram, so we'll just get married, even though I know I'm going to divorce her, right after we're done. And you're supposed to give her something. And so what? Well, just buy her a Happy Meal at McDonald's. Buy her a Happy Meal at McDonald's, and then marry her, have sex with her, and divorce her. And so, I mean, this is like, it's like prostitution, but you're giving her a Happy Meal. Saying, here's a Happy Meal. Yeah, very, very sick stuff. And so Aisha here apparently thinks that this is un-Islamic, even though, Muhammad was allowing his followers to practice straight up mutta, like just, hey, go hire a prostitute and marry her for 20 minutes while you have sex with her and so on. And then you're divorced right afterwards. But according to Sunni sources, some of the hadith say that Muhammad eventually forbade it. So he eventually said, don't do this anymore. Other hadiths say that, no, it wasn't Muhammad who forbade the practice. It was a later Muslim caliph and so on. So it's basically, if you want to practice mutta, you can just say, oh, I believe this hadith and not those other hadiths. But typically they won't call it mutta marriage, temporary marriage. They'll just do it anyway. So they won't set it up beforehand as a mutta marriage. So they won't say, hey, I'm only going to marry you for 20 minutes. That would be mutta. They'll just marry some girl, understanding that they're just going to divorce them when they're through with them. And they'll call this misyar marriage. The misyar is saying things like, you're going to be a secret second wife, so you're not going to be a public wife. You're just going to be my hotel wife. You don't have all the normal rights and privileges, that kind of thing. So that's kind of their version of it. But anyway, Aisha doesn't think that this is an accurate reflection of Islam. I think it is. But she says, he has been misrepresenting our sacred text and misleading the youth. Well, he's misleading the youth, but mainly by teaching them Islam. Spiritually, our religion has always been protected when individuals in positions of trust were exposed after becoming a source of misguidance. No, Aisha, I think you're actually exposing the religion by showing that most of the people in your religion will take his side and not your side, not the side of the victim. So I agree you have to expose him, but yeah, it's the religion you're exposing. So she says, why did I speak to people who are enemies of Islam? Hey, yeah, Thaddeus, you were one of two people who messaged me on the same day and say, hey, did she message you a while back? And I was not familiar with that at all, but two separate people messaged me on the same day. So I was like, oh, someone must have said something about this.
Yeah, so she tweeted at you and at Abdullah Samir. Those are the only two individuals that she publicly tweeted at. She might have tried to contact someone else privately, I don't know. But as far as publicly, those are the only two. Just a variety of messages. Like some of them just said, I want to talk to you. I have some information about Islam that you'll find useful. Which could have been anything, right? That could have been trying to do dawah. But then some other one, she did say that she was a victim of sexual abuse and she was desperately looking for help, that she was losing her faith in Islam and was reaching out in desperation. I imagine neither of you ever saw either of those messages. Obviously, you just said that you didn't. But because she had made those tweets in Ali Dawah's video, defending hijab, she's like, look, she's working with the enemies of Islam. And of course, she wasn't working with anyone. She tried to contact, her words, 100 Muslim scholars to get them to intervene, and none of them would. So in desperation, she tried to reach out to people who weren't Muslims. Seems reasonable to me.
So she tried to deal with this behind the scenes, and when she couldn't get any help from the Muslim community, she couldn't get any support, any help in exposing Muhammad hijab from the sheikhs and so on, and they all take his side, then she decides, okay, everyone in Islam is willing to cover for Muhammad hijab, so I need to go outside of Islam if I want to help expose this. So let me find some people who don't like Muhammad hijab. And since she did that, since she contacted people outside of Islam, she is being attacked. She cannot be a serious Muslim because she's contacting the Islamophobes. And so let's go ahead and see her response here. She says, why did I speak to people who are enemies of Islam? So that means David Wood and Abdullah Samir. At that time, I was broken. I felt violated. I felt cheated. I felt used. After over a year and a half of seeking help, so she tried for a year and a half to get Muslim leaders to help her, I felt every door shut in my face. I was overwhelmed and needed to scream the truth. For me, accountability was the only way to hold on to my faith. So she's saying, I can't even hold on to my faith knowing that the entire community is siding with this guy and he can't be called out. So I have to do what I have to do. She said, I called them shaitan, and since then I had a tremendous amount of regret for ever reaching out to them. I have since repented to Allah. I advise every Muslim to stay away from such paths, no matter how desperate things may feel. So even if every door in the Ummah is slammed in your face and everyone agrees we will protect the abusers and not the victims, even under such circumstances, do not go to people like David Wood and Abdullah Samir. And Aisha, I would agree with you that from an Islamic perspective, yep, you should not be going with us. However, that is merely more evidence that shows you how massively dysfunctional your religion is. So now we get into her actual claims, because some people are confused about what she's actually claiming here and where they're disagreeing. So here she's answering that. Did I agree to secrecy? Meaning, did she agree to be a secret second wife? Did she agree to keep their relationship a secret? She says, the only form of secrecy I accepted. So this would have been before they got married. This would have been, hey, if you're going to be my wife, we're going to keep this some level of a secret. And so what did she actually agree to? Guys, so that's important. If you're going to be a misyar wife, if you're renouncing some of your rights as a wife, you're supposed to agree on that beforehand, not have a guy tell you about this later, even though Muhammad did. But let's see. The only form of secrecy I accepted was not informing his other family, as that is what he demanded of me. So Muhammad hijab said, hey, I have my family, I have my wife, and you have to keep your mouth shut or my wife will find out about it, and that will get me in trouble. He had promised a marital home, a shared life, and family involvement. What he asked for after the marriage was completely different and not what we originally discussed. So this is her claim. This is one of the big disputes. She's saying she agreed to be a secret second wife, but even though he's saying, hey, you have to keep this secret from my family, I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to have a home. I'm going to spend time with you. We are going to share lives together. I am going to be involved with your family. So that's what he agreed to beforehand. Then after they get married, and he has sex with her in the hotel, she says what he asked for after the marriage is completely different and not what we originally discussed. So after the marriage, it's I'm not going to provide a home. I'm not going to have a shared life. I'm not going to be involved with your family. We're not going to have kids. I'm only going to have sex with you in a hotel, and I'm not going to provide anything for you. And let's see, as far as discretion, did I agree to discretion? Yes, but only regarding the number of nights we would spend together in our home. I did not agree to being hidden, erased, or treated like a secret. So just separate from his other family, but nothing beyond that. So apparently the only thing that she was agreeing to was secret from your family. And that's going to involve the number of nights they could spend together and things like that. He's like, oh, I have to be home, but, I'll tell her I'm at the mosque 2 nights a week and I'll come and bang you. Anyway,